We're getting closer and closer to Endwalker. I'm getting super excited, but oh, it also starts the final part of this. The last part of Realm Reborn officially started. Ugh, okay, I just realized that I'm kind of dark. I'm gonna turn my thing a little bit more this way. I, for the life of me, cannot get my green screen to work properly how I want it. May just have to deal with the mysteriousness. I don't know why it's this hard. Maybe if I got this brighter but further away, I might try that next time. Anyway. Traitor in the midst. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding, but it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead of the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Ashians, Urianger is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphana did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be, independent to a fault, and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that comes to you. Alphano has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again, were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. Messy load out there. What is it, Shadow? And do be concise, I am rather busy. You would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but this demands upon my time... demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men went for labor, though we are but newly formed. There is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions, but I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, Shadow.
Hail to you, sire. How might we... Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the grand companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the immortal flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
Alright, so just like the title of the job says, we have a problem. Oh my gosh, it's so, like, sensitive. Okay. I always tried to go the orthodox way into the Hall of Flames, but I do like the stepping stones there.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Roban. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah, spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Hilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. And I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first? Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
Back and forth. Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest, Scion. Suffice it to say, we must tread warily, but one misstep may cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let us return to the Rising Stones and report to Commander Livier. We are returned from Ul'dah, Commander. And not a moment too soon. Something has happened. Trouble? We will recall that the Fourth was tasked with... reconnoitering the rendezvous site used by the Ivy's minions and his Imperial contacts. Soon after you left, we received word that the unit was ambushed en route to its destination. According to the report, one of ours has been taken captive. The Garleans are not wont to treat the foeman with dignity, and I have grave fears for her safety. We must dispatch a rescue party at once. Recall those braves who are afield. Begging your pardons, Commander, but we have not the time. I'm afraid I must ask for your aid once more, Scion. An ill-prepared rescue party will only serve to provide the Garleans with more captives, yet time is of the essence. Simply put, you are the best chance we have. Captain Ilbert has the right of it. I trust you are willing, but of course you are. Now, Elaine of the Fourth lies in the wait of the Tangle, near the entrance to Castrum Sentry. Seek her out, and she will appraise you of the situation. I just realized what I just did. I just used teleport to go outside. For some reason, I was thinking of the other castrum in Thanalan. I thought that's where we were going. You would aid us in the rescue mission? We are in your debt, Warrior of Light. Now, time is against us, so allow me to brief you the situation. The Garleans fell upon us without warning, wounding poor Resh and hauling her away to the castrum yonder. Outnumbered as we were, it was all we could do to flee and regroup. Even as we speak, the Garleans may be interrogating Resh, or worse. With her hurts, I fear that she will not long survive for their attentions. We must rescue her without delay. Our order may be yet in its infancy, but the bond that binds us is strong as mithril. None of us will stand by while comrades suffer. We, the remnants of the Fourth, will infiltrate Castum's sentry. Please help us find Resh before it's too late. Where am I? Resh, thank the gods we found you. And thank you, Warrior of Light. Now, to quit this accursed place. Resh cannot move with those wounds. She might need to be carried out. I believe a diversion is in order. Might we trouble you to provide one? Given your reputation, I suspect the Garlands would be only too happy to grant you their undivided attention. If you were to create a commotion within the castrum, we should be able to steal away unnoticed. Let us speak again once we are safely outside these walls. Oh, what? This music reminds me of the world that never was, from Kingdom Hearts. I have awaited your return most anxiously, my friend. You have done us a great service indeed. Thanks to your aid, our comrade Resh is safe, and we suffered no further casualties. Words cannot express my gratitude. All that is left is to report the mission success to Commander Levier. I shall go ahead to the Rising Stones. Ah, it does me well to see you thus returned, though I doubt not your prowess. Entering an enemy stronghold is generally considered to be a risky venture, and I must confess to have been a trifle anxious. But here you are, hale and whole, having succeeded in your mission, as is your wont. Lest you wonder, the woman you rescued is being cared for by the Domans. Thanks to your expert ministrations, the danger is past. You have my gratitude, Shadow. Allow me to thank you also, Shion. Rest owes you her life. We escaped with minimal casualties this time, but we can ill afford to be caught off guard again. The Empire is not an opponent to be trifled with. As you say, Commander, I will see it that the men keep their wits about them. And it may yet take time, but I will not rest until we have identified and apprehended the Ivy. I have every confidence that you will succeed, Captain. As for you, Shadow, I realize that you have scarce caught your breath, but I'm afraid there is no rest for the weary. I require that you accompany me to Corthus. I have been granted an audience with an Asgardian dignitary, you see, and the man expressly requests your presence. Oh, do not look so surprised. You should be familiar with the trappings of fame by now. We shall depart as soon as you are ready. Coming to terms. We have been blessed with a rare opportunity, Shadow, an opportunity with an ambassador of the Holy See of Ishgard. We are to treat with Sir Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, in Camp Dragonhead. It is considered a great honor to serve the Holy See directly as a Temple Knight. Needless to say, their leader wields tremendous political influence. We'd be wise to court this favor. For that reason, I consider your attendance essential. If Sir Aymeric wishes to meet the man behind it, the legend, I would not deny him the pleasure of your company. The antecedent should see the wisdom of this plan when you request your permission to accompany me to Corthus. Mayhap you feel this to be a waste of your talents, which could doubtless be put to nobler use. If so, I would remind you that more good can be accomplished with the stroke of a pen than the thrust of a sword. A meeting with an Ishgardian ambassador? By all means, I think it's a wonderful idea. We have received no reports of aethic disturbances or unusual beast trap activities of late. If Alphino believes your presence may help him to secure more favorable terms, I see no reason to deny him. Antecedent, I take it Shadow has explained the situation. He has. Yet welcome though these overtures are, I cannot help but wonder what prompted them. The Ishgardians have spurned all contact with the other city-states for decades. Why reach out now? Would that I knew. The question of their motives is one to which I have given no small amount of thought. Alas, I know no more than is generally known. The notoriously reclusive nation of Ishgard, situated at the center of Albathia's spine, ruled by an Ishgardian Orthodox Church, at the head of which presides the Archbishop. Members of the Eorzean Alliance formed in the wake of Alamigo's fall some 2 decades ago. Fields of Convenience who withdrew from the Alliance as soon as the Imperial fleet was routed at the Battle of Silver-Tear Skies. Since which time their borders have remained closed to all outsiders. They have rejected every one of their former allies' calls to reopen dialogue, turning a deaf ear to their neighbors' plea even when the calamity loomed large. And on the fields of Cartano, where brave men and women laid down their lives in defense of the realm, their banners were conspicuously absent. I have tried to convince Ishgard to rejoin the Alliance at every opportunity. I have explained over and over again that unless Eorzea stands united, we cannot hope to preserve our freedom. One by one, our nations will fall, as once fell Alamigo. And what have mine efforts yielded? Why not? Surely this can be considered a step in the right direction. I should hope so. Rather than the lowly messengers we have been fobbed off with in the past, this time we shall meet with a man of genuine influence. Of course, I am not so naive as to think they could come to us out of the goodness of their hearts. We have something they desire, though I have yet to find out what. But such is the nature of diplomacy. They will bring their agendas to the negotiating table, and so will I, along with a handful of controversial truths. The Empire will soon be at our doorstep once more. Indeed, you may be assured that I will expound upon this point and others. Let us depart for Camp Dragonhead, Shadow. Our old friend Lord Hauntfinch is expecting us. Since our quest to recover the Enterprise, I understand you have further ingratiated yourself with the man. Excellent work. His fondness may prove useful to our cause. Ingratiated is probably what that word was. Ah, Shadow, ever a welcome sight. Our hearths have been stoked to blazing in preparation for your arrival. It would not do for such a distinguished personage to catch cold whilst enjoying our hospitality. The gesture is much appreciated. I fear I shall ever struggle in cold climes. Ah, good Master Alphino, an honor as well. Likewise, Lord Hontrafont, forgive us yet another imposition. I fear we have relied overmuch on your aid, since you so generously assisted us in locating the Enterprise. Nonsense! Any debts incurred have long since been repaid. Besides, who can say what the future may bring? House Fortin may even seek the aid of your newly formed Crystal Braves. In any case, I am simply delighted that the Holy See is at last willing to grant you an audience. No doubt your discoveries at Snowcloak helped us justify the decision. This recent resurgence in heretical activity is of grave concern to us all. But to the matter at hand, Sir Amric arrived at Camp Dragonhead earlier, and I am told he is eager to meet with you at your first convenience. You are doubtless weary from your journey and desirous to rest a while by the warmth of our hearth. But if you are willing to forego such comforts, pray inform the knight stationed outside the intercessory. He will grant you entrance and send word to the other attendees. As inviting as your hearth sound, I think it best we proceed to the intercessory forthwith. We have been expecting you, sir. Pray take your ease inside, and I shall summon the others.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Sir Emmerich. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the Primal Menace. The Beast Tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean Alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. Their territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Forton has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Sir Amaric, we would be in your debt.
No, you would not. For I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard-Sorma.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this? The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord. What? By the Fury? All our precautions were for naught?
The intercession of saints. just when we were starting to make progress. And to make matters worse, the caravan they spoke of was bound for Revenant's Toll of all places. Honestly, were I so inclined, I should think the gods were conspiring against us. Happily, however, I am not. I would know more of this attack. Let us speak with Lord Honchefont and find out what he has learned. My sincerest apologies for the interruption, my friends, but the situation is such that we must act swiftly. If you would be so kind as to elaborate. Iceheart's heretics fell upon the caravan bound for Revenant's Toll as it was passing through the Boulder Downs. 'Twas an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant, every knight was slain, every crate seized. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, they were gone. 'Twould be an impossible feat without knowledge of the route, knowledge to whom only a few select were privy, I presume. Quite. We could pursue that avenue of inquiry in due course. It seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush would be our first concern. The trail is yet warm. We must act swiftly, as Lord Honchefont said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truths, Shadow. Why don't you go and inspect the ambush site in person? An excellent idea. I'll inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. This place was so... or this area was so... I won't say bad. It was interesting being the only snow place when the game first came out. But man, traversing it was torture sometimes. Couldn't fly and mount speed was halved. Ugh. Move along, adventurer. There's nothing for... Lord Honchefont bid you speak with us? Then you must be... Beg your pardon, Scion. As you can see, they left nary a crate behind. Tipped the wagon for good measure, even. Whole thing's a bit odd, if you ask me. Would have been easier to just steal it. Though a sight harder to conceal it, I'll allow. Reckon they came prepared, probably with wagons of their own hidden away off. Oh, but pay no heed to my ramblings. Absence of proof, 'tis naught but speculation. Might be as the squire receiving care at the observatorium could tell you something more factual. That is, if he's awake. Unlike myself, he was there during the attack. Not that his presence amounted to such. Much. Not such. See, having to walk all the way from here to here, then back... And while I tend to like snow levels in video games, this one got old fast. It did become fun again once Heavensward came out, though. You've come to ask about the attack, haven't you? We came upon them before the entrance to the Hall of the Seven Echoes. Pilgrims, we mark them as, lost and ill-equipped for a journey further north. Our leader called out to them, and one stepped forward to answer. Slowly she approached, her silver hair flowing in the winds like melting snow. Just a young girl, I thought, some poor lost lamb in search of salvation. Our leader must have thought the same, else why would he let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I could hear, and then she leaned forward as if to kiss his cheek, and then he sighed and crumbled to the ground. I didn't know what had happened till I saw the snow turn red. And then there was red everywhere I looked. I tried to fight, but took a blow to the head, and by the time I had came to, the others were dead and the heretics were unloading the wagon. they could have killed me, so I just lay there, still and fastened. Iceheart's people spoke of deliverance and resurrection, and they spoke of Shiva. Ah, you've returned. What news have you for us? It seems the Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Who is this Shiva the heretic spoke of? Have you not read a single line of the Entredian, Master Alphino? Shiva was a traitor of kith and kin, an apostate who lay with the dragons. Now, we cannot expect all foreigners to know Ishgardian scriptures so well, particularly when it concerns the patron saint of heretics. Wait, you say she is their patron saint? Oh, no, it all makes sense now. Lord Hontrafond, what was the caravan's cargo? Oh, if I recall correctly, the Diamond Forge had requested a rather large quantity of crystals. Do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva, as a beast tribe would a primal. Why else would they go through such lengths to secure crystals? I shall inform the Lord Commander at once. Lord Hontrafond, you would agree that discretion is of paramount concern. Of course. I trust we can count on your continued support, Master Alphino. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to combat the primal threat. Our support is a given. I will need to send word to my brethren in Revenant's Toll. Our entire order must turn its efforts to the prevention of this summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I'm sure you would not miss this for the world. Strength and unity. The persistent attacks on our caravan seemed a little more than a nuisance at first. The heretics were a problem, to be sure, but a relatively minor one. That was before I discerned the purpose behind their attacks, of course. Now they have my undivided attention. After appraising Memphilia of the situation, I shall summon a unit of Crystal Braves to assist us. As for you, Shadow, pray join me in White Brim Front. Since the incident at Snowcloak, the Knights of House Durandare have redoubled their reconnaissance efforts in the region. It is my hope that they have information which may help us determine precisely where the heretics are hiding. Given our mutual enemy, Lord Dromel should be eager to oblige us. I shall see you there then. Good? The Scions of the Seventh Dawn wish to join in the hunt for Iceheart. Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Considering the report I just received, I dare say their timing could be no better. We are all ears, Lord Dromel. A band of pilgrims has been transporting a large number of crates to the west. Their garb appears to match the description provided by the squire who surveyed the attack. Survived the attack. Alas, our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak, that self-same frozen wall which we speculated might conceal the heretics' hideaway. Suffice it to say, their disappearance of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirms our suspicions. I've heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. I took the liberty of summoning a unit of Crystal Braves to White Brim Front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. Those are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. It would be in our best interest to coordinate our efforts. Such was my intent from the start, Sir Aymeric. And so it begins, my friend, though I dare say it will prove an all too brief collaboration. Iceheart will not elude the combined forces of the Crystal Braves and the Temple Knights for ere long. Nevertheless, a wise man does not wager all upon the success of a single solution. There may yet be subtler means by which we can locate the heretic's lair. Mayhap Lord Dromel has one in mind. Yes, yes, excellent. My lady, everything has been accounted for. If there is aught else you would have us do, pray speak, and it shall be done. Dark words, dark deeds. It seems as though we are always one step behind, our quarry ever just beyond our reach. Though I would like to believe that the tables are about to turn, I must confess to have certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed where others have failed, but it could yet yield the self-same result. Fortunately, we are not without other options. I trust you haven't forgotten Inquisitor Guillaume. We have not. The mystery of how the heretics remained undiscovered for so long has been much in our thoughts, as has the question of what steps might be taken to prevent a similar breach of security in the future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in Whitebrim Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Iceheart's cause, he will have taken note of the movements of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves, and upon recognizing their intent, he may have attempted to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point we must report to Sir Jean Tremont in the yard. I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should you meet with a heretic, do not interfere, simply watch and listen. I have seen to it the suspect knows nothing which could endanger our plans. The suspected heretic leaves through the southwest gate. It's a little close. I guess we do have to hear him. The suspected heretic follows the road east. The suspected heretic heads south. I didn't even see him. I don't know where he went. Chill is a very good name for an enemy. I can't see much of anything there. Hey! Hey! Where in the seven hells are you? I'm freezing my bollocks off here. I'm here, you blundering oaf. Why are you late? Standing on the wall. Why else? I have duties to fulfill, you know. Your sole duty is to the... Bloody echo. Lower your voice, or they'll hear us in the Whitebrim Front. Yes, of course. The Temple Knights are... in Snowcloak. This is what you bring to me. We already know about... Our comrades in Boulder Downs use the tunnels, dead before they know what's happening. Nevertheless, if you waste my time again, Is that clear? And it was a sad attempt to mumble, but whatever. We have our proof. Ah. Did I use the wrong entrance here? I did. Well, did your investigation bear fruit? I see. I shall have the man detained at once. His guilt is plain. Would that you could have heard the words more clearly. Yet, the few snatches you were able to make out are nonetheless enlightening. It would seem the heretics are aware of our operation and confident that they can thwart it. Their comrades in Boulder Downs are key to their plans, which means it is key to our plan that they be rooted out and put to the sword. First Blood. We have long suspected that the heretics use a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you've overheard, I fear that Snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. A contingent of House Durandare knights are on patrol in the area, and I shall order them to begin searching for the heretics at once. But knowing nothing of our enemy's numbers or readiness, I cannot say that for sure that they will be sufficient. It would put my mind at ease if you were to consent to assist my knights with the search. I know they would take courage from the presence of so storied a warrior. Pray rendezvous with them at Boulder Downs. If alone is kind, we may catch these heretics before the plans come to fruition. Show them no mercy, Shadow. The lives of our allies are at stake. This is a really cool area here. Yeah, I'm kind of wishing I knew the lore behind that one area. I'm sure it's something cool, but I actually don't know what caused that. Or if there's any more lore to it than all the other little crystal spouts that you see throughout the world. My knight sent no word of your coming, Shadow. What has happened? What is that in your hand? By the Fury, those were veterans with years of service. And now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered, and... No. No, we have not the men to spare. Not now. Not while Isar prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not of sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they're on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, It seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretic something of value after all. The parchment she recovered is a timetable of the guardsmen's watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before they aroused our suspicions. Would that he had been caught sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use the tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. House Durndare must send reinforcements. Even if it means withdrawing knights to the Stone Vigil, I see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. The path of the righteous. Time is of the essence, Shadow. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will avail them not if they are cut down ere the sword are drawn. But all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may still be some time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Aymeric everything we have discovered. It's so much cooler to fly out of that building than to fall, like I have been. I forgot how bright the lair is. Oh, I guess it just was while we're far away. Shadow, this is a welcome surprise, perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Livier been informed? The braves must be made aware. It must be here. I am certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes with when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it. This is all wrong. Iceheart had us scrambling to save our shop skins when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. There she is! Come here, girl. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Livier. There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels. After spotting the enemy break in the surface... Oh, but that is not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha! Just as I suspected. Amongst the warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics will still be lurking on the surface. What if they were to converge on the point after we enter the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel was indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Aymeric and keep the heretics at bay, here, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Lady Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown. So see that you are prepared for anything. I suggest that you call upon your allies, though not too many, or Papa Lima will sulk. The entrance to the tunnel, sir? It's over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Amric's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even though you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. Ah, I love the music here. It's been a long time since I've done this dungeon. I think I honestly barely remember it. We'll see. Ooh. Okay, so things up here can stand us a little better than usual. They can't do the damage, but they can take it now. Here's our first boss, Wandel. Sounds like someone with a lisp is trying to say the name Randall. Not too bad. So there, I think this is the dungeon that has a boss that has a mechanic that I'm wondering if I'm strong enough to ignore. I'm actually really curious. It's the mid-boss. Okay, this boss. Wait. Yeah, I think. Yes! Wow, okay. Oh, whoops, I messed it up. It's actually pretty neat that I'm strong enough now to ignore this. What you're supposed to do is use the Spriggans to make snowballs and barrel it into them. But as you can see, it's not really going to be necessary. There we go. That felt pretty good, actually. Alright, so this is where a bunch of random stuff will come out. I wonder why it takes so long for that to register. These dove avises, when you're playing with the group, are kind of bad news. Not gonna have a fight a whole lot of them though, because I can kill these guys easy. Oh, did one of them drop a key? Yeah. Did we just straight up take his finger? That looks like a summoning crystal to me. Or an aetherite. It's Fenrir. He did not even get to use the super move.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea. For Hydaelyn.
That took longer than I expected. What news, Shadow? So Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. That she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders in their fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. 12 be praised, Shadow. We may yet turn the situation to our advantage. Assuming we'd stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Siams have not been idle. Benfilia and Urianger have been busy pursuing the archives of House Forton, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Sorry for the delay. Which reminds me, if you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy suspecting themselves to this cold. For the greater good. Antecedent. You come to us straight from the archives of House Forton. I trust your time here proved fruitful? Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with the dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is of another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Forton. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case one wonders if it's by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might have issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stranglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Aymeric. Aymeric? I think it's Aymeric, actually. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us a good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Halone that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms against the Dravanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a reunification of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required to all of those who live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era, and Scripture tells us only so much. Would that it had told us more. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait in the negotiating table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan could succeed. Truth be told, I too remained somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from any other figure who have been summoned, each of whom have worshipped as a god. the sole exception being good King Magamog XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Mughals' guard. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their belief. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Memvilia. They have them both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the Aetherite Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetherite, somewhere not too far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second Aetherite, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlian may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it would take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Memphilia looks into our Aetherite problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretics' force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly, despite our numbers. Korthus is vast, and Hightorch's followers knows the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture our Lady Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Good. I knew you would understand. Yu Hase has apprised you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I will be waiting there to discuss the latest developments in this investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. There you are, Shadow. Commander Levier instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the Third hail from Molda, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath the boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand. Nearly a month ago, I received word that the heretics we speak have been spotted making for Denifin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. Those balls, my ankle was on fire. Caught my boot on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Denifin Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you weren't sure where to go, look for the tracks. The snow is fresh and they shouldn't be hard to find. Look for the tracks. Those are my own tracks. tracks lead southeast. Scion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. Those are great scaled beasts and Yuhase. I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. He's in trouble. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest, and lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. I'm through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those bluecoats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Well, stay with him then, if you think you are fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your hands ever thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I have done no wrong. None that meet in secret with heretics, deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all. Fancy meeting you here, Shadow. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither? Ah, dang it, I didn't mean to. I double-pressed. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been provided assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alphino is too kind. I fear my people, and I have done little to aid your search for the spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. That is a most generous offer, Lady Yugiri, and one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and always be watching. A comforting thought. Shadow, let us wait for Captain Ilbert and return and deliver his report. Captain Ilbert seems confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, should we have new information ere long? As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared enough wild dodo chase. I spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. Tendrils of intrigue. Captain Ilbert, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could not tell us not what we do not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Asgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired our information on the shipment routes. Go on. You'll recall the flame we first identified as being the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspects of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that the needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Forton. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other, with a little encouragement. He soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that's one mystery solved at least, but what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off the mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspect is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among Raoban's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames' establishment? 'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion for all these years. Aye, I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Oldaz has been the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa Laminza and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal one's mind, under the same leadership, only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Oldaz's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raoban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the costs, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its foundings, it would have been a child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now, aye. The Immortal Flames have been caught between conflicting interests, the public and private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, it was not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nail von Darnus' ambitions have been less apocalyptic, he may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Raoban an army. 'Tis but a wonder they did attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attempt to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Aymeric, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully, the information will be of some use to the Asgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Shadow. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Ooh, those were a mouthful. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to their sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they proceed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go ahead to Gridania, in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nofika's altar. We shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. No, not Ilbrid. My thanks for coming, Shadow. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Stand. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand? Will you be joining them now? Whoops. I said that like a question. That was bad.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, The remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new Emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite the protestations of the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust against the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Lomenzens, for instance. Their Admiral Merweb outlawed piracy over a decade ago. Foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Oldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Oldan society, Telegi Adeleji, for example. But that is besides the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, we could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak more of the pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the Observatorium, Captain Ilberd has fully shortened his list of suspects. Further shortened his list of suspects. And by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Shadow, and all that remains is to corner the quarry. Seek out Ilberd near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Korthus, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Chasing Ivy. Listen well. The spy we've been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Elaine Royale. I'm not saying that last name right. Raubon's second-in-command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with a polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest-ranked officer, foreigner, in the Immortal Flames, bearing the Flame General herself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Raubon chose people based on their worth, whence they hailed was of no interest. The Monitorists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And 'twas no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the alliance. Yet the Monitorists did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Royal was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the Monitorist? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Royal's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Immortal Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of a Flame General. While Raubon attended the Council of the Alliance leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of the Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet there she is nonetheless. Of some pretense, she is up to something. Mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling at the Flames' records for evidence of Royal's guilt. But if we catch her red-handed, we will have all the proof we need. Which brings us to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely on your eyes, Scion? You have my thanks. Let us go then, and take care not to alert our quarry. Royal, that's what I'm going to say, is heading in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, Scion. So, Royal has entered the Carline Canopy, meeting someone, perchance? Or could it be she means to board a ship? Pray look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. Femi is her name. I shall remain here in case Royal appears. Shadow Blyson, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger, and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you were sure she did not board an airship? She did not come back out, either. Where in the seven hells should she have gone? The Roost! How could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Tui tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You are a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but those eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Royal would have been disappeared without a trace. In flagrant delicto. Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Scion. I suggest we follow Royal's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at... I press X too fast. At the pier. Sweet Bloom Pier. Had to see where I should teleport. The Lancers Guild. This way, my friends. The query makes for the Hawthorne hut. If Raoul is truly one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with the Garlean masters there. An exclamation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In so doing, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Rael would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move around Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before she saw someone through her disguise. 'Tis for this reason, I believe she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Elezen are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not likely to turn any heads. As my scouts tell, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far succeeded in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorne's hut and catch Royal in the act. My people report that our quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to the gnarls whence she came, but perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act while she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall lie in wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. They might lie in the shadows, but we're going to come barreling in with a chocobo. Just beyond, Rael is conversing with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer, an imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it. With me. Flame Marshal Elaine Royal, you are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool? Damnation. You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle, but if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood, when last I looked there was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers? You would feign ignorance, then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now, come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Even a warrior of Varel's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus protected, uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap, then the people of Ul'dah will have the grand company they deserve. Let us speak of the present, if I may. If I may ask, what will you do now, Shadow? So the Scions seek a way to Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, if you considered training in the art of the shinobi, you have the aptitude for it, I believe, so please give it some thought. Till next time, my friend. Welcome back, Shadow. I understand that Alphino has a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against the Elaine Royal? I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some other manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whether the truth may be, we must trust the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. A simple plan. As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aetherite in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystal she stole from the House Forton caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing around the second coming of their patron saint. But if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Aethernet, and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetherite to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetherite upon arrival, a reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Oriange, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. which is why we have called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise. A colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's soul from Charlian. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap we could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way by the northern gates and await her coming.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and to thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Charlian scholar, and an authority on aetherite technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Right, new character, Moambrita. Let us return to the Rising Stones at once. We have much to discuss. Satoru juggling over there. That's funny. Didn't think it'd be that much of a slow day in Revenant's Toll.
Moon! Gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Charlian to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Sanjay! Where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on. Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the aetherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
Moonbreed is a really, really fun character. I like her a lot. The instruments of our deliverance. I've already informed Alphino of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbreed described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done on our behalf, Shadow, and that I have faith that you will return to us, as you always have. Oh, come on. I think we mentioned it the first time I came here, but my favorite environment, or like weather is what I meant to say for this, is when it's like just sunny and lightly snowing. I really love the areas then. I think it's when it shines the most. Pun intended. When there's no music and you're just hearing the chocobo, it does seem to be struggling. Good to see you, Shadow. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Elaine Royal and Old Oz we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that, by which I say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetherite. After you, Scion. There, it's ready. Ha! It worked, I think. Try tuning to the Aetherite now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. We have done all we can, Shadow. For now, let us withdraw. When our final preparations are complete, we must seek out the beacon we have created. If, by the grace of the 12, you arrive safely, we must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual, and if she succeeds, you will have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if our own strength will suffice, and so I would encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Mombrea's experiment, but others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Ah, before you reassemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Emmerich. Sir Emmerich regrets that he could not be here in person, and asks that I read you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need it is not her knights who have stand poised to defend her. Shadow Blyson, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service for a greater cause. May Halon bless you with great fortune and see you safely home. All right. Another day, another primal.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
One of the best Shiva designs, in my opinion. Okay, I do think I have to kill them fast. Yeah, she's immortal now. Not immortal, but invulnerable. Whoa, what? Hope this isn't insta-kill. No. But it is still a very cool scene.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. that no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of Light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the Keeper of the Lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift. Hear, feel, think.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
Forgot to unmute. Look, if you say what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough, I was only asking. The road less traveled. If you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the rising stones, eh? I'll get everyone else to meet us there. But before that, you had best pay a visit to White Brim Front and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That, or he's busy playing at politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again. And that actually is where I'm going to leave this off. I know that there's not much left in 2.4, but I'm running out of time. So we'll do that and part of 2.5 next time. You guys, stay awesome.